average, a human being produces 500 litres of urine and 50 litres of faeces per year. This contains enough nutrients to produce the equivalent of 230 kilograms of cereal per year. Earth Report investigates how our toilets could become a powerful tool for saving water. Around the world, more than 2.5 billion people have no proper sanitation. The UN wants to halve this number within 6 years. Flush toilets and expensive sewer systems are widely used, but there is another way: ecological sanitation. Using water to flush our human waste dates back to Greek and Roman times. Then, public toilets were social places to chat and network. The modern flush toilet originates from the Elizabethan water closet, a British invention.
I'm sitting on a replica of Sir John Harrington's flushing water closet. He's often credited with being the first Englishman to develop a flushing toilet. The toilet we know is really, it's an indoor phenomenon, so it's really 20th century new housing that toilets are in homes.
The problem is that a flush toilet uses a lot of water, 27 litres per day.
A newly installed toilet should be flushing about 6 litres on a full flush. Some toilets have an option for a half flush. The situation has improved from that point, but certainly we're still using a lot of water every time we flush.
So conventional sewer systems waste a lot of drinking water and nutrients. Conserving drinking water is perhaps most urgent in arid regions, such as the Arab world. In these dry areas, saving water is vital for survival. Ahmed Rabi and his colleague Latifa Bousselmi of the Water Technology Research Centre in Tunis are searching for ways to save domestic water and reuse human waste. One idea is to introduce a so-called dry toilet. This toilet uses no water at all for flushing. The dry toilet collects faeces and urine separately in 2 compartments, the urine down the small hole and the faeces down the larger. Fresh urine is a sterile solution. By not mixing the two, the pathogens in the solids cannot contaminate urine. The 2 products can be treated differently for future reuse. This could help both saving water and stopping wasting our waste.
Donc le problème, c'est qu'on utilise beaucoup d'eau.
The problem is that we use a lot of water. There's the agricultural, industrial and urban sector who all use a lot of water. So in the light of that, we're looking at new concepts and technologies like toilets with double reservoirs and dry toilets.
Latifa decides to try and introduce the newly arrived dry toilet to some students at the campus of the National Institute of Agronomy. There's interest, but also many embarrassed students. Do the students want to think seriously about using a toilet like this?
I don't think this fits with our lifestyle. It's not comfortable. Personally, I don't think I would use it.
Latifa and Ahmed realise it will be difficult to introduce a dry toilet in Tunisia. They travel to Catania in Italy to meet with European and Mediterranean scientists also searching for sustainable sanitation technologies. There, municipal wastewater is biologically treated and cleaned using reed plants. They meet with Gerd Wach, who is based in Germany and developing similar experiments, all based on the so-called eco-sanitation principle.
So I'm sitting here on the dry toilet. The dry toilet is the simplest way to close the loop between the nutrients I'm producing and the nutrients which can be used maybe in the garden.
So eco-sanitation closes the ecological loop of nutrients and water use. It actually looks at human waste as a resource rather than something to flush away in a sewer. Waste is not waste. In Germany, thousands of people already use dry toilets. In Hanover, owners of allotments are very enthusiastic about the dry toilet. They want nutrients for their compost heap.
You just need a bucket. You don't have to buy any chemicals. You just have wood chips mixed in. After 6 months, you have compost which you can put onto your garden. Underneath this, the urine is collected. Our granddaughter often visits. Recently, she had a couple of days holidays here with her mum, and she said there's no smell. You don't feel this is a dry toilet. It's just like at home. So you put the lid back and the toilet's ready for use. To clean, you take the bucket out and throw it in your compost heap. You put the bucket here and you empty it.
Dry toilets may only be used in areas lacking sewage systems, but can a dry toilet work in a modern household? A normal house in a normal street reveals that a modern household can work perfectly well for eco-sanitation. Sietz Leeflang has invented and installed 2 dry composting toilets called Nonolet.
This is the Nonolet, as we call it. It is a name which is Latin for no odor. It is a dry toilet and it is a very small toilet. I can show you inside if you like. There's a bucket and there's a plastic bag in which the contents of the toilet falls. This is just my toilet as we use it here, and you see the paper which is a little bit wet because we always use just 1 glass of water to put some water across the paper. When the toilet is used, we simply put a piece of paper in the toilet and we cover, and then we use what we call the press papier, and you press it on the contents of the toilet and you press it, and when by doing this the oxygen in the paper will kill all the bacteria coming from your body, and the smell is away. You have no smell at all, and that is the real secret of the non-OLED, the non-OLED toilet. En in die emmer te doen. Dit is ongeveer...
So this is around a couple of kilos, 3 to 4 weeks of toilet use.
Every few weeks, Sietz takes his waste in the biodegradable bag to his green bin, which is taken by the municipal bio-waste collection. His urine goes through the holes in the biodegradable bag and is collected in a separate reservoir.
Dus deze zak...
So the urine flows through the bag easily with the bit of water that we add, and then it can be drained separately.
Kan het afgevoerd worden.
He cleans his urine and grey water in a special small-scale reed plant filter system. This cleaned water is led to a fish pond in his garden. A simple dry toilet is some $200 cheaper than the average flush toilet. Money is saved too on the water bill, plus there's free compost for the garden. Throughout Europe, more than 20,000 dry toilets are sold each year. So if dry toilets are becoming acceptable in Europe, will Ahmed and Latifa successfully introduce them in Tunisia? So far, Ahmed and Latifa have experienced nothing but frustration in their efforts to introduce the dry toilet in Tunisia. This may be because the flush toilet is a status symbol. Suggesting a dry toilet is like telling people to go backwards.
C'est une toilette sèche.
And most people in the Arab world are washers and not wipers. It means they need clean water to wash their bottoms.
It's not easy for the population to accept something like this. As you know, Tunisia is an Arab and Muslim country where the contact with human waste is a taboo. You should not touch it. If you do something with it, you should wash yourself, and so this, perhaps, is an obstacle for the acceptance of these different solutions.
So a dry toilet doesn't seem to be a universal option to cut the wastage of nutrients and water.